starts right now, Vicky, as we head into our first map that is going to be Hell's Heaven.
In our first best of 5, let's get it going. As, all right, putting a little bit of homage, talk about Ego Death a little bit. FlyQuest having some fun on that path runner as both sides protect the Emma Frost first.
Yeah, we've got the Emma Frost ban on both sides, getting rid of her. They don't want anything to deal with it. We had Vest play that a little bit. Both teams obviously want to play Emma if they can. And right away, we have FlyQuest getting rid of Speedery and the dominance he does in the air as Human Torch. Again, if you're looking at the big ban system, this is towards their team. So the ban's only right now for Envy and vice versa.
The protection now in favor for FlyQuest over the Magneto. Not surprised there from both sides, actually. And then the Loki ban, too, to prevent FlyQuest from running that Loki. That's interesting, actually. I believe the last time when we saw FlyQuest versus Ego Death, that wasn't a ban that they had to deal with. Or instead, I believe it was the Torch, the Adam Warlock that Ego Death had banned against FlyQuest, as well as the Ultron.
Yeah, Loki, one of the most banned heroes in the entire tournament. At least he was just a couple days ago. He's still carrying that Torch, I believe. And speaking of Torch, they're also getting rid of Torch on the other side of things. Both players love to play him. Energy has flexed into that as well. Energy can play just about everybody. And his performance is going to matter a lot today against one of the best teams in NA. Storm, though. They don't want any Storm NATO. We didn't see a ton of it, but they did have some of it as they're getting rid of that option as well.
And it looks like Envy also want to get rid of any possibility of a res comp that they have to face off against, looking at FlyQuest and what they could bring out. They've banned out the Mantis here. They protected the Loki from their own respective side. And here we have the safety and the ban picks from both teams.
Yeah, so the group being banned against for the Envy here is interesting. Definitely things that they're going to want to hang on to. And then no triple res comp. They're trying to shut that down. Energy going to Wolverine, though. We've seen him lean to this in Hell's Heaven and Domination specifically. So I do like that pick. Vest has played Magneto to a tremendous level as he's going to Rocket to get that armor out. But Adios, we've been seeing a lot of this Spark Chief on Hulk. Adios over to Namor. They've been playing that a lot on Domination. If you can figure that out, you're going to be golden, but it's a lot to figure out. You've got the Luna DPS boost to the Whale. That's, you know, a huge wombo combo, and they look to connect all that.
And starting off the day 2 on Hell's Heaven. Love how we were also talking about the 2 for 2 on Domination from both these teams. Literally 2 for 2. Looking at FlyQuest, where they won 2 on Domination. They've lost 2 on Domination thus far. It was during their Solaris matchup and Ego Death specifically, where they had 1 versus their run back versus Ego Death and then versus Jobless. So slowly on the come up here, FlyQuest crawl their way up and then looking at Envy to try to keep up their consistency.
Yeah, FlyQuest soaring through the bracket as we do the fly over the maps, and we're heading into it. And here we go. Both teams lined up, ready to go. And this is always the most exciting part of each day. First matchup underway as we have the Jeffs to boost them out. The team comps are locked. We have Speedery here on Wolverine. Cal plays a lot of Wolverine, but instead of Speedery, and then we have Cal now on Hawkeye. So we've got the Hawkeye Luna team up.
Ooh, we've seen how strong that could be here. Kitty as you talk about the Hulk that we see from Spark Chief 2. Gonna be able to yeet energy up into the skies, maybe trying to look for an isolated pick, tries to get the kidnap immediately afterwards, but then having to deal from the other side the thing after losing on Adios already. Your backline here, Zelos getting torn apart. FlyQuest are dropping like flies, and Envy seamlessly take the point first.
Yeah, what a way to respond from Cal just from yesterday. Like, locked in on Hawkeye back-to-back. We're seeing the same comp that we've seen from FlyQuest, but a different comp here for Envy, especially yesterday. Energy, though, now swapping over to Psylocke to try to deal with probably the pressure that is going to be Cal here on Robin Hood.
And that's together with the mental projection that you currently get here, or whether, no, that's with the Emma Frost. The Emma Frost is banned here, but it's together with the Magneto and the Psylocke, even without that power-up, and just trying to control a lot more of that space, get more into these flanking angles here, too, between Envy, and then looking at the way that Cal is currently positioned, you have to worry about funneling through that corridor.
Yeah, absolutely here. Just staying on the main ground, but Spark Chief finally getting some combinations. The wombo hit on both strategies going down, and that's exactly the response you want. Now Spark Chief, again, the man plays with passion. The Gamma is on maximum as he goes crazy to open with the Hulk.
It's so fun watching Spark Chief play too. Being on the Hulk, literally the Hulk is one of the heroes that we have not been able to see as much, and Spark Chief just puts it on display so well.
Just punching fire, punching air. He feels it. He's definitely feeling the gas right now. Love to see it here. We do have 2 ults ready to go for the dual speeder. He only needs that one to get a huge wipe as we've seen in the past. Cooper, though, can be unlocked there with the aid of both worlds to get the invincibility with Luna.
Smart Chief trying to harass the backline too. You saw him in position right beforehand. Alvio's going to be able to find window. No more of the Pain Brother duos coming in. It is Smart Chief here together with Energy as it continuously put pressure on this Envy backline. But Envy have so many ultimates going into that next fight.
Well, hello, they brought the sledgehammer. They're ready for the bracket buster a little bit here as they open with a 46 to 40% opening. They're getting that first little stagger. That's all you need when you've got the whale as the tentacles rain upon us. And just looking at it, I mean, look at Energy with 5 final hits. I knew Energy, he is one of the backbones of this team. If he plays lights out, it's going to be great for FlyQuest here. Now they're going to try to tackle Psylocke right away. What a good switch to Psylocke here as they open things up.
Also a switch here from Envy. No more thing. They've gone over to the Hulk. It's time to diff Smart Chief versus Window, it looks like here. Speedery having that Wolverine ult. They try to all collapse together here against Smart Chief, who's going to have to jump down from the high ground together as Zelos with the stun. Smart Chief 2 force a pop in the Hulk ultimate. It's going to be a reset here in terms of health, and now you have the Luna Snow dancing around. Nero now over to the other side. You have to worry about Energy, though, who get taken out. Back how it's Revenjo as Smart Chief is able to then reciprocate.
Envy had everything on lock there, and FlyQuest kind of staggering out their ultimates, which is ending up giving them the advantage as Smart Chief is just going crazy, hitting those picks when needed. But we have the Magneto up, the down. Kalush did not get the connection, unfortunately, but does finish off the limb that he intended on Cooper.
Cooper going down, leaving Zelos only here after using that Eternal Bond earlier on. The Namor ult, adios is saying adios to the competition with the way that FlyQuest has not giving up their position on this point.
And that engaged by Envy went from we got this to where did everybody go in 2 seconds flat. I mean, right now, FlyQuest is looking incredible as they open up this matchup with flying colors and taking 0.1 in Hell's Heaven. Color me surprised.
What even like looking at the meteor of M like directly in the face, even with the Hawkeye just shoots it right down, knows that they can't contest either way. Envy, we're not expecting that dominating start here from FlyQuest. Look at Energy, 5 final hits. I mean, equal across the board if you look at Adios' Smart Chef there too, but Adios too just completely cutting off their exit strategy once they had to back away from the point with the Namor ult.
Yeah, tale of 2 different stories too. Yesterday was Cal and Speedery was doing a lot. Now Speedery looking to get some of this back here, just unable to get everything. Right now it feels like every play is like a Hail Mary for Envy and there's just no one in the end zone. They've got to connect, they got to reset and get everybody together here. And if you're FlyQuest, keep doing what you're doing because right now you're playing loose and it's showing.
The battle starts in 5.
They will have one ultimate going to start off on the second round here. Same thing though cannot be said about Envy. They used up a lot for that final fight, playing very split up FlyQuest with their kiting around the pressure that Envy was putting off. Specifically though, Nero will have the fate of both worlds just to help them out in trying to recontest.
Yeah, absolutely. Here as we have Speedery now on that Psylocke, ready to match Energy, see if they can contest, go back-to-back. Cal now switching over to Hella. Cal has been known as a great Hella. Didn't see it a lot in the upper bracket, but he is locked and loaded here as Window going to Mr. Steve Rogers to create some pressure. I like this change-up in the matchup, and Cal getting the best of Energy to open things up.
Well, that's already one way to hold back Energy with the way that Energy has been playing too on that Psylocke. Jumping in though, it's going to be Spark before it comes right back together on the point, helping out the rest of the team here. But you have to think about the dance of butterflies on your back lane. They lose out on Cooper, they lose out on Zelos. Huge dance of butterflies for Speedery. Great positioning call out as Envy finally gets to retake the point.
Yeah, the opposite of what we just saw in the first map. They used all the ults, didn't get anything happening. Now Speedery, they only needed to use the one. The only dance of the butterflies should just be called death of butterflies at this point. Brilliant 4-5 elim there. And if you're FlyQuest, you have all you need. You've got your own dance. You also have 2 dances. You have both Luna and Psylocke ready to lock. And great job there from Window is spying the Energy in the back line.
Month also has God of Message ready. Energy still holding on to the Dance of Butterflies, just waiting for the opportunity. But with Cal making the swap over to that Hella earlier in for the second round here, been putting in a good amount of damage. FlyQuest is trying to get out of that line of sight.
Yeah, absolutely here. They're just trying to fold. I love just the combo right now of what Spark Chief is doing with Energy. They're staying locked together tight. Audios has got the strategist kind of locked and ready and supported here as he's taking this back route. All the team is into this point. They want to try to get out of here. 44%. Things are stacking up quickly. Fly has got to make a quick fly to the point and get some pressure on them.
Well, time is literally flying by here, and together with The Hulk with the Namor team up here, just trying to put in enough of that damage just to get through this initial choke too. They catch somebody trying to go into the backline, probably looking at Speedery, who's trying to harass them from that backline. While meanwhile, you still have Cal that's putting in a good amount of pressure.
A great hit from Cal there. Hulk's on smashing at the moment. He's just spectating us. Speedery's keeping the distance at the right time. We've got all the ults online for both teams. About to be fireworks. Avengers dropping into New York. The ult's about to drop into Hell's Heaven here as both teams lock in with a whale come out first. Energy with that opening elim on Window.
A huge here, though, losing out on Window, who cannot even take advantage of their own ult just to stay alive here. Looking to see what Vest could do. Cannot find that mark, though, with the Meteor. Instead, it's a dance of butterflies from Speedery. Also, just going to be able to hold them back here. But looking on the other side here, at least FlyQuest, who have been able to wait here for Cooper, having the fate of both worlds here. It's going to be answered by Nero, too, after Cooper's runs out. And Zealous with perfect timing activates the Eternal Bond. Overtime taking away. And it's literally a 0 to 100 moment as Envy now lose out on Cal, who's been a problem.
Oh, I just counted like 10 ultimates, 3 miracles. There's like all survivor. What happened? What? No one got eliminated really from that. That was perfect. Just upkeep with the strategist, keeping everybody alive. Energy though, getting rid of Speedery there. So far, great play in the ultimate contention, but the neutral fight is where things are happening, and Energy is making the difference here in the neutral as they do get that cap, 3% to 99.
Even bigger was both individually Kaluj and Vest with the Magneto bubble, helping out those ultimates to actually succeed to negate any sort of pressure from the meteors that were unleashed from both sides.
Yeah, I'm shocked too by just the Luna swap into DPS, into the healing. That well combo is so hard to counter, but they did a great job with that and into the meteor in there from Kaluj. Now 0-2 on hitting those meteors, same as Vest. Vest does get the elimination on Month, which is going to help stagger there the healing so they can put the pressure and poke, which is extremely tough with Adios on Namor, just constantly putting out the DPS, taking out Cal with that, and then the follow-up with Speedery to see if he can make the difference. But right now, FlyQuest has that momentum.
And the complete counter from Cooper right there, too. Together with the Fate of Both Worlds, just prevents Speedery from having any sort of impact with the Dance of Butterflies that we get to have the Psylocke 1v1. Here comes the whale flying by, just making an appearance in the background when we see that 1v1 and being able to back away, being able to also now flip the script at already 55% in favor for FlyQuest.
I'm telling you right now, if Vest control was an art, he is just painting a masterpiece. He's not even getting elims with the meteor. He's getting now back-to-back picks on Month. And this is where he's great. He gets those final hits. He's just so precise with that accuracy. It's incredible. Both teams stacked up about the same here in the ultimate department. And right now, it's going to be another Psylocke show. And it's forcing out the ult. That's a dance. And Energy does get Cal, but somehow Speedery, he escapes.
It's the fact that Speedery and Cal try to 2v1 Energy in that situation, forcing out the Dance of Butterflies, still finding one. Here comes a meteor. Will find its mark this time around. It does. It finds Cooper, even if Cooper wasn't dancing it off on the Fate of Both Worlds. Instead, you do have Window. You have Freedom coming in too. Cal, with the Goddess of Death, is going to now try to put in pressure, at least from the side corridor, it looks like. The meteor's not going to find itself there. The bubble's going to help him for now, before Window now moves up and takes over this point with Envy.
Absolute huge block there as Envy looks to finish the cap. Spark Chief switching over quickly to get that portal out. He's going to have only mere seconds. They're going to jump in. This is going to go to Envy. Not enough time.
Right there with just seconds to spare at the very end. Envy tied this up, taking us to a round number 3 for our first map.
You could tell from Kaluj, that meteor, it wasn't just purple, it was personal. I mean, he just absolutely threw and crushed Cooper with that. And that's a bummer with that portal. Sometimes it comes down to milliseconds. We've seen it with Nemesis versus Shroud X, where one portal back can mean winning the entire map there. So this is what you want to open up with in the lower bracket finals. Best of 5, each team taking one map to get this first map.
Are you surprised? This is the best of the best out here in the Americas region, and they are delivering already. Round 3 situation, very close. Also, just the retake, too, that we saw was so possible, but Envy just made it to 99% so early on without an early takeover back from FlyQuest.
They've got to take out Adios here. He's getting way too much free poke. He's up to 20k damage there on Namor. If Envy wants to continue this thing, they've got to get rid of him. They had good trades there, and honestly, with the 99% lead that they had in that point, that's what helped them a ton, because they were starting to crumble a little bit there on that second point as FlyQuest was coming into their own. But right now, teams are matching. They're meeting. We have only one whale into the double dance yet again for Envy.
so much damage output from Audio. So I like how you pointed that out here. Jumping on though, Mealy trying to isolate Window. This Hulk being the menace. Cooper does have the fate of both worlds at the very start of this fight. Same thing could be said about Adios. Looking on the other side though, Nero could then reflect that, but it's gonna be Speedery to pull the button first. Great reaction from Cooper here, but Adios still getting called out by Speedery. Dance of Butterflies.
That timing was so perfect. Cooper was able to get that on just at the nick of time before Speedery could get that dance out. Now we got Month. Oh, and the protection there from Nero. Great awareness. Energy just trying to get this pick that could just change the course of battle for the team, but each hero is barely getting rezzed up. Does have that dance out, gonna go to the backline now that ult has been used. We've got Kaluj with the Meteor M and the connection, but no elims.
Oh, try to yeet it all the way to the back line of FlyQuest, stuck in that corner. Nice kiting away here. Zello still was able to get away with that Eternal Ball that we saw earlier too. Here comes Energy though, Dance of Butterflies on their end, and now being able to at least find one on the other side, while Window here on the other hand has a Freedom Charge. Completely is going to try to dive this back line. They get harassed. Speedery follows up, and Cooper falls alongside them, as now there's going to be a reset. Envy could be able to find this.
Yeah, nothing scarier than a backline funeral. When you've got Cap ulting and then Speedery at the helm, a Psylocke pushing in, there's not much you can do. We've got now some stagger happening for them. Obviously, you've seen a little bit of that team up with Loki for that res. That's why Loki's been banned so much. But reset now, honestly, the first point to just now. That's how close that was and how long it mapped out. Vest has to be careful here so he doesn't get staggered as they head into the next fight.
I was just about to say the fact that now is when the point finally starts flipping in favor for Envy here, just trying to keep them delayed, trying to boost up their confidence with the Dance of Butterflies, but this forces out Cooper and that fate of both worlds.
Did they change Psylocke's ability to just be her ultimate just be an ability? The amount of times I've seen the dance thus far is crazy, as Energy does trade with Kaluj, and these meteors, they are just not connecting. The Whiff Nidos are out on display, but Vest getting it done with just the primary, taking out Cal. Cal's traded a lot here. The rest of the team has stayed alive, and it's just this stagger fest back and forth. But right now, the point belongs to Envy, and they're just taking that up and up, Vicky.
Not the Whiff Nidos in 4K here. Gotta call it out, but the way that we're currently seeing the backline getting supported has been beautiful. You talked about Audios putting in a good amount of impact. Everyone's funneled up together, congested in one side. Doesn't find his spark, but puts in the pressure instead. The Meteor though, and the block! The block from Audios was crazy, but it's not going to be enough.
The blessings of the deep with the bubble block. Are you kidding me? I don't even know if that was intentional. If it was, that was the sickest thing I've ever seen. I think he was just trying to protect himself, but he protected the team. Either way, team's now pushing in. Same story as that last point. 75% now for Envy. Even if they get together here, they have to play razor tight. They started off strong. Best now switching over to Strange. Maybe get a little bit more space here. Block up obviously with the portal if they need it. And then we've got Window there. He can do it all day.
But with the Freedom Charge though, try to dive up the back line. Cooper once again has been getting these Fate of Both Worlds so quickly, ready to go to help lead the rest of FlyQuest back onto this point. Then you're gonna have the dance here from the other side off of Month, who would use the God of Mischief instead. The internal bond now just trying to control the entirety of the point from Zelos, and overtime now taking away a similar situation to our second round from Envy.
Yeah, we just saw this, right? I want to just commend Zelos and Cooper, just perfectly traded their ultimates at the precise millisecond to get it done. We do have another dance coming out from Speedery, but we do have the kidnap. Yeah, it's going to end Speedery's Psylocke run, at least this time, pushing them back into spawn. But we just saw this. They get this momentum towards the end, and they have to use a lot of resources to get that, Vicky. And now they've got Goddess of Death. They've got the Fate of Both Worlds. That's two ultimates in its own that can get the job done.
Yeah, and they just used up the World Breaker. Yeah, they use some things here. They can try to boost up those other ultimates, but in a 99% situation against Envy, they also have a good amount of answers, including that Meteor that's coming from Kaluj.
Yeah, here Speedery is going to be diving in. We've got both tanks on lock, ready to go. We're going to see here Speedery can get the pick early. Just getting that pressure on Sparksheet, making sure it doesn't rage up. But Energy now trading, getting that Kaluj pick early is going to be massive, as Nero's forced to put the show on, and he's going to try to protect them from this huge Agamotto, what Vest has. But unfortunately, that was at the wrong time, but it sets up the whale, Vicky, and they get the two-piece.
Oh, and Nero going down. Month is going to meet him back in the spawn. Cal comes in just to keep them back too, but they get forced off. FlyQuest successfully plant their feet on this point, and Envy had utilized a good amount. They still will at least have the Loki ultimate coming right back as well. Speedery close to that Dance of Butterflies.
we keep seeing this. One team has the point, and they're losing a couple people, and then they make it back, and they get that charge up. It's at 70% now. They're going to have to win at least 2 more fights, most likely to get the job done. But here's the dance of the butterfly, forcing out Cooper. Taz to expand to both worlds. Clutch either way, even without eliminations. Getting that support ult out is so important here. Window with the constant pressure. Kalush up with the ball. Down. Does not connect. Another block.
What? These blocks are insane. FlyQuest Vaz with his awareness, the situational awareness. Window goes down, then next two. Muntad used the God of Mist just to keep everyone alive in the dancing of fate of both worlds. Kaluch gets stunned temporarily, and now the immediate comeback between Vaz and Energy. FlyQuest with the 0 to 100 takeover.
This is it. This is just what happened to the other team, but this time they've got the time to get the portal out. Window comes out. It's 99-99. This is what you're here for. This is what Ignite delivers as Cooper trades with Kalush right away. But we've got the ult coming from, oh my goodness, Wolverine taking out Energy is going on a show here as he barely gets freeze. Nero with the flex.
And Nero now popping the fan of both worlds, trying to keep themselves in overtime, trying to stall as long as possible. That was after Kaluch had gone down first with a stagger, forced to swap off, goes over to the thing. They lost out on Month. This only leaves Nero, who doesn't have the ultimate, and Vez has been on fire.
There it is, guys. What a start to this. Oh my goodness, lower bracket final. We've got FlyQuest to mini surprise getting that first map off of Envy. Are you not entertained to kick things off? I can't believe that 99% comeback.
Dude, it was the way that Envy tried to recontest, but with just a few more seconds than what FlyQuest had for round number 2. And Envy, not only did they just delay as long as possible, but Vez was on fire at the end there on the Doctor Strange.
If you watch Marvel Rival, oh, this is incredible because FlyQuest, they've done this before in the lower bracket. They go on these runs, they get hot, they use the loss as coal to flame the fire that is burning and igniting for FlyQuest right now. And Energy, this was what had to happen. 17 final hits. Are you kidding me?
Dude, to look at Cooper, 63,000 healing, and that's with Cooper having Fate of both worlds always ready to counter Speedery and the Dance of Butterflies, especially on that third round.
The absolute insane play. Both teams did well. It was like these weird stagger fest happening outside of map 1 here. Honestly, was just all FlyQuest. And after that, it was the trade-off back and forth. A little bit of that hangover from the upper bracket loss that we just saw from 100 Thieves. Envy, this team, they know what they're doing. They've been here. They've been on these win streaks. But right now is what matters. But this is what's beautiful. Best of 5, they got plenty of time, right? You know, if they would have lost this with a best of 3, they would have to make it up in 1 map. They could figure things out and kind of go back to the scoreboard and see why they lost just now.
It was those finicky Dom burst matches too, just to see what they have to do in terms of these different bands here and what they need to change. We saw a lot of changes coming out within the first few seconds of that first round alone, but there was a follow-up too between Energy and Smart Chief too that just allowed them to thrive in that first round, but it was a takeover that was a little too late.
Yeah, absolutely here. I mean, both teams, I would say even the Vanguard setups were good. There was so much precision of protection. The ultimate trade matches and battles were so well done as Cooper tasked getting the MVP, just a casual, cool 63k healing to open things up, 14 KOs. My goodness, absolutely cooking. But honestly, the kitchen is not closed for either team. They're both doing solid at the moment, but FlyQuest, the big thing about them is just having that momentum and proving that they can win.
And if you're going to be able to put up those numbers as a support here in a very intense matchup where you have to not only worry about Speedery, you have to worry about Window, who was on the Captain America. Let's not forget that too. You have to worry about both of these different people diving you in your backline, and you still have your ultimate ready to counter what is the most important, whether it be from Speedery's ultimate or in Cooper's case, being able to funnel from that different corridors when you're on the opposing side of the point could be difficult because everyone's just like a bunch of sardines stuck in a can here, and you know that it's going to be a lot easier to execute, so holding on to those ultimates are super important.
Yeah, and I just want to say we highlight players like Terra a lot, Speedery obviously, but the flexibility of Energy, I've seen this guy play just about everything. I mean, he has played Vanguard when needed and pretty much the entire Duelist roster at this point. The man could do it all, and I like the approach of Psylocke that they did. FlyQuest right now, they're not just flying on a plane, not coach, definitely not Spirit Airlines. It's first class for them. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll see you guys for the next match. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to map 2 between Envy and FlyQuest. And you feel that, Vicky, it's tension in the air. One of these teams is getting close to be sent packing again. It's win, it's go home, it's for the seed placements, it's for money, it is for the glory. Hey, Vicky, what did you see there on that matchup? That was nuts.
I saw like every ult being utilized at the same time with nobody dying. The amount of saves that we had, the ult utility that we had, as well as the comeback potential that we saw was beautiful. FlyQuest winning that first map, and for that first map to go to all the way to the third round is just what I want to see when we introduce best of 5 here.
And so far, guys, this story of FlyQuest is so crazy. This is a team on Twitter so just completely stunned, just having some of the saddest tweets I've seen after that first loss, and then just this recovery that we have not seen. Now, both teams have played on Yggdrasil. Both teams have won. Envy has 2 wins, though, compared to FlyQuest in the past in this tournament so far. As we head into this as our round 2, can Envy come back and get it to 1-1 here as we head into the same mirror of the beginning of the pick ban phase?
Yeah, looking very similar already here. Gonna be able to also ban the torch once again, the protections and then the bans on the Emma Frost that we saw too. Even with the Magneto, it's looking almost identical already thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we're getting rid of, I mean, kind of was noted yesterday, Speedery, such a demon there on Human Torch, so getting that flame out of the sky. Flame on, no, flame off there, as we've seen here. Now, this last time from Envy was dedicated to Torch. We're getting that yet again. It is. It's mirror bans at the moment.
Okay. Are we going to maybe see the Mantis ban once again from Envy onto FlyQuest to prevent FlyQuest from rocking something like that? We're going to have to see. They do protect the Luna Snow, though, as a priority. As I'm not surprised. Looking at the way that Cooper played that, I would also protect Luna.
Yeah, I'll take another healthy dose of 60,000 healing and great damage to boot. I mean, my goodness. I'm wondering if we get like a... Yeah, they're going to go with Mantis again to prevent triple res. But, man, after that Wolverine play, I would think about it. The thing is, though, energy can flex to whatever. Ooh. And that's what is so lethal about them. Oh, look at that. As I'm talking about it, they do. They get rid of that Wolverine. And that was one of the key differences, I'll be honest. Just the play and the level of play. Now, he did Psylocke a lot, but having the Wolverine there was insane for them, and that's a smart ban. But it does open up triple res for them.
And the protection onto the Groot, too, from Envy. That's going to be 2 protects used up for 2 Vanguards, leaving things open here to see what that next ban is going to be. No Psylocke plays. Put that away from Speedery.
All the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, as teams are locking in, getting ready, we've got that group save. Window can play it all, but I saw Window play a ton of group back when he was on Shroud X, but now just the way that he can play the hero on this map, it's so important to play Groot at a maximum level here. Separate the walls, get the heals, get the picks on the Vanguards, and separate them from the team. Audios in the skies here. Teasing a little Ultron. They're going to go with the fly route. They don't have any aerial, a lot of aerial units to use here, but we'll have to see as we go to map 2, Convoy, Yggdrasil's path.
I'm excited here. I also feel like, just thinking about it, is that the first time we saw Protect over Groot? I believe it may have been too. So that's going to be interesting, trying to prioritize Groot. Again, 2 Vanguards to use up for that safety as we get set up. FlyQuest are ready with a dictating start for that very first map win. Map number 2 in a best of 5 situation now. Everything on the table for Envy to keep themselves here.
Yeah, Asgard is the place. They've seen plenty of battles here before, so this is nothing new. Obviously, when you've got Surtur destroying the whole planet, you've seen a bit of everything. Speedery at the top. At pro play, you still use that window. It's always clutch as he gets a little peek on the competition here. We've got Speedery on Iron Man, and he plays lethal flyers. He is their flyer, as now we head into the match. Nero staying back, having that huge snowflake to keep Speedery that much more healed up and topped off.
Gonna be handy here with Speedery being up in the sky too, just to look at them to give some of that extra healing, as well as Window being in front. Group being on this map as well with these walls is just so easily utilized. Adios being so low, managed to stay healthy though. Cooper splitting that attention together with Zelos being on that Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, I like that they're attacking Audios right away. Just win that airspace. And Kalu's back over to Doctor Strange. Played all Magneto yesterday. He's back to the Strange himself, one of the more infamous Stranges within Rivals. As they push up here, Window already has that Entangled Prison, and it is looking to be stacked up, ready to go here in a moment for the Wombo combo. They can use it with Speedery. Are they going to do so, or are they just going to go with the Collapse, and they do so?
All together, though, with the Gruul as well. Window following up. Speedery is the final cleanup, though, from the rest of FlyQuest. Great way to take over already initially on this attack for Envy.
Yeah, the crowd control, the forced group photo that they did not ask for. Great job there, as now Vest throwing up that portal, trying to get a little high ground, maybe get to see if they can get some damage here on the top. Poking through a little bit of an awkward portal as they jump the back line here. Vest trying to stay on top, and there's Maximum. Watch out, and luckily, team, they survived.
I mean, I did see the Invisible Woman shield, or rather, yeah, from month over by Speedery, just in case to help them out. But, man, even avoiding that, Cooper was ready with the fate of both worlds, even after losing out Zelos. But that was a crucial pick to lose, considering that they were about to have the Eternal Bond to stay alive. And Cal then takes Vez to the sky, takes him all the way down, and then follows up with Cooper. Cal currently on fire on this Wolverine, and no surprise there, too. That's how they got the initial fight win.
Yeah, that Wolverine, I'm telling you, I say it all the time, he's not flanking, he's just hunting, and at this point, they don't have access to it, right? They used that ban towards it, they opened up triple res, they got rid of Mantis, and last time, this time, Wolverine, and that's going to give them a huge advantage. Kaluge looking to use these portals to cut off the hallways. Smart use of portal play here, just the most common route to the map to clear up this. They're going to jump down, though. We've got the Eternal Bond to open up the fight.
Well, they were getting ready by the corner to their side here in the hallway, but they came in from the high ground, coming in from the balcony specifically here. Gru ult 2, Speeder gets a one hit on Adios, and a huge triple to follow up off the Iron Man ultimate. Talk about a statement here. It's fine. Cal could be popping off in the backlines. He could be going hunting, but Speedery is up in the skies going shooting.
Jarvis, clip that, post to social media that I'm carrying. That was massive, huge ult there from Iron Man. Just incredible. Speedery, great job there as they get the pressure needed to put the point up, and they wasted some ults at that. Kaluge as the Eye of Agamotto ready to set off too. Right now, FlyQuest, they need to use these ultimates. They have stuff ready to go, but right now it's a little bit staggering after what was, I'm sure, a staggering ult of the 4-piece.
Especially on this map too, momentum is so much if you don't control some more of these corner spaces too. But Spark coming right back in on the Hulk, activates the World Breaker just to reset the health pool too. And together with FlyQuest rocking this Ultron composition here, Adios finally uses some of those ultimates that you mentioned here, Cozy. Energy Spark now send them back after finding 2 picks, and after the backline going out too, Envy is gonna have to reset.
Great job from Adios there. Extermination, keeping the team alive in that Agamotto. So just hats off to what is hard to defend of an ultimate. I've got to say, who do they have, though, to really stop Speedery? I mean, you're going to have the Spark Chief tackling him and hit that perfectly. Adios can handle it a little bit. Energy, though, you know, Psylocke, you'd have to get that poke damage. But right now, he's reigning free in this, guys. Oh, there it is.
Oh, just completely tackled him. The follow-up, too, from Energy. They knew the assignment. The communication is beautiful. I like the vibes that we're currently seeing, too, from FlyQuest just to deal with that issue. No Punisher here. They don't need it, even if it's not banned. And they force out the fate of both worlds. Meanwhile, though, on the other side from MB, they have the Punisher. The Meteor's not going to be able to find Cal, and instead it's going to try to burn them down. Thankfully, though, they had a fate of both worlds to try to keep them alive, but it's too much damage, too much pressure as Cooper and Vez meet their demise.
Yeah, that defensive ult was used at the right time, but the bubble popped, and it is done as instead of getting a huge defensive stop, Cal, final judgment was the final period on that part of the point as they're pushing forward now. Right now, momentum heavy on Envy. They've got another maximum pulse. We've got the invisible boundary with the Groot ult. We can just do the wombo of the Groot and Iron Man ult, and I think that's what we're getting. Look at Speedery here hiding. This is gonna be at least 2. I'm calling 2 here.
They're not gonna be suspicious. They're not suspicious. Just wait for them to come up from the other side, but he unleashes it anyways, even without the wombo combo here. They heard Adios, they heard the extermination, and they had to react. Energy, meanwhile, going in through the back line, finds Nero. The Eye of Agamotto, who just stopped here too, but it's fine. Cal then comes up, finds Zelos, Adios, and Cooper as the backline falls. FlyQuest get exterminated, and Envy win another team fight.
Yeah, Kaluge opened the eyes and closed the enemy's chances there to get this part of the point shut down. Good job on, avoiding some of the bigger ults there, but ultimately all it takes is the one group up there to get the job done. And there's 2.5 minutes, or 2 minutes and 48 seconds. That's plenty for Envy to get this point, but also enough for FlyQuest to get the good hold here.
Good time here. They hear the turret setup too from Cal. Sitting pretty, just trying to clear out their line of sight with some protection too from Kaluge. Speedery is close to having that Iron Man ultimate though, and Energy still on that backline, still trying to figure out a way to deal with Speedery here.
Yeah, Energy right now, compared to Domination, has been not the biggest factor on this map. Speeder just kind of, again, owning the skies here. And he just farms these ults so quickly. He's ready to rock yet again. Vesto does have that ultimate. He's hanging on for it. He's playing the patience game to use it against it as a defense. And that's probably what it's going to be. But Vest has to use that against not only Speedery, but also Punisher's ult.
Wonder what happened to Cal right there, too. Already down after using the ultimate, it looks like, and was taken out by Zelos with the Invisiwoman. But now it's going to be a dance party, too, from Fate of Both Worlds. Here comes the maximum pulse. Super Speedery doesn't find its mark. Still the safety, too. These group walls just being such an issue between Window and just creating more of this space. Spark Chief, though, making another swap after being on the Captain America. Another Eye of Agamotto. It's found 3. It's found Zelos. No invisible boundary here to help out FlyQuest.
Oh my gosh, with the ultimates here, it's just more lights than Times Square on New Year's Eve. This is ultimates everywhere, but the fight's being won in the neutral as Audios does get the pick on Speedery, trying to escape collusion, does get that pressure on Vest and Zealous ready for that counter. But that was everything. That whole team's pressing Q at the same time. These teams are playing just perfect.
And fireworks, maybe a light show out here too, just to add to it with the amount of just immediate explosions we're seeing. Cal then steps 1 foot around the corner, gets annihilated. Adios then follows up and finds Month, and that's going to be 2 and 3 out for Envy. It's going to have to be a reset this time around, and they have less than a minute on the clock now.
I mean, I'm just telling you, the absolute, I've said this yesterday, you can't spell poke without M-A-G-N-E-T-O. I mean, Vest is just doing such a great job at the constant pressure and getting those eliminations with the precise accuracy as he tries to push them back a little bit with that alt fire. And right now, you've got plenty for FlyQuest with 43 seconds, plenty to hold this. You've got the advantage here.
Extermination is the first one used for FlyQuest. Instead, Window, look to see with that strangling prison that's coming up here. Gonna be important with Cal also being able to wombo combo with it. Nero too with the Fate of Both Worlds is gonna be able to try to keep them alive. Look at Energy's position though, coming in from this back line, finds that pick onto Cal. That's gonna be big here as Nero is forced to activate the Fate of Both Worlds with limited time in the time bank.
Great follow from Celoso to get the elimination there, and they have 2 different group ults. They've got the Agamotto, they also have the imprisonment. Either of these can get the job done, but Energy gets that pick on Month. That's going to slow down the sustained healing. Everything is going to be on the line. Nero out as well. Both strategists, no heals. They got to do it with what they have. They've got all the ults to get it done. Can FlyQuest end it?
Oh, but then the wall, too, from Groot just stops the Dance of Butterflies just temporarily, and the Eye of Agamotto then may have been the saving grace for FlyQuest to enable Energy. Zello now finally comes in with the invisible boundary, keeps Envy here, as Envy are just trying to desperately come in with Energy, trying to stop Envy here. Month that used up that invisible boundary. Cal then comes in with the final judgment, and it's all desperate times calling for desperate measures after Window had made that swap over to the Venom, and Speedery finding that pick up to Zelos.
Oh, how did that not connect? You got the meteor, unable, but Energy still gets the job done. Getting now Month down, Nero, Cal, it's ending all together. They're able to get this hold. If they can get that last pick, the Portalo coming in. Vigget's going to keep things tight, but it's going to end right here for Envy on Yggdrasil. It's up to FlyQuest now to show what they can do on the push.
Man, Energy, after using the Dance of Butterflies, going around the group walls that were set up to separate themselves and the rest of that payload, then to follow up and deal enough of that damage to clean them up was fantastic. Chef's kiss out here too. But Envy, they had a lot of momentum with those first 2 checkpoints.
Yeah, maximum pulse, more like maximum energy. Just crazy job there. Those team fights, they came with explosions, emotional stakes, the CGI budget to boot. I mean, everything was used there by both teams. But again, a lot of these picks are in the neutral. I thought Envy played spectacular there, but at the end, FlyQuest was able to button up in a tighter, that cave environment that allows Energy to get more of that peel. And really the difference there on point 3 was Energy and the picks he was able to get on those strategists.
And that's just because you have to think about the lackluster roofing that Speedery would have if he's stuck with the Iron Man. Like, you can't really navigate around as easily as you would for the first 2 checkpoints when you're not stuck inside of that roof-like building. So being able to make that swap quickly, still finding at least a little bit of impact, but I also feel like there was a lot more focus onto Cal, and that's where Energy comes in and really helping them out.
The Stars are playing at the highest degree. Energy, Speedery putting on a show. 13,000 damage from the Ultron and Audios there. So great job. And we're just seeing a master of Mystic Arts, both Vest and Kaluj going crazy. Vest did play a lot of Magneto on that round. Ultimate's not connecting how both teams would want, especially in terms of Envy on some of these matches. Caldo locked back in to Frank Castle.
Oh, get ready for some plays. Peekaboo. Getting ready with the back end portal play just to help enable Alvios, who's going to instead be on that Punisher, protected behind the Doctor Strange shield instead. And they have to now start turning to him, but the rest of Envy in a great position to be out of their line of sight.
Schmungus, the Solaris special that we've been seeing in Ignite. If you're a duo, you're going to be copying this as much as possible. Look at all that constant pressure of the turret using every last bullet. Now, as they were forced to go into this safe haven, now it's going to give the space for FlyQuest to push forward a little bit, and that's what they were looking for.
It was great retaliation, though, in terms of the way that they were able to react around that, immediately kited away together. Now Nero is going to be able to create a pathing with the Eternal Bond just to shove FlyQuest back towards those spawn room gates, and Energy looking to try to boost up that dance of butterflies, try to get a pick on these back lines.
Unfortunately, without a pick, with that Punisher opening, you give so much healing to the enemy team, and then you've got Nero able to farm that Eternal Bond so quickly, which is why we see so much Cloak and Dagger. But Energy gets the pick on Window to open up the huge Vanguard pick, and we've got the also Extermination putting the pressure on and backing the team up.
Oh man, Cooper got the freeze 2 onto Kaluj right there, but no follow-up afterwards after we saw the follow-up here too now from Energy. Dance of Butterflies just going to be able to do enough of that damage. Cooper with the rest of FlyQuest though, it's going to be able to keep them alive, but it's not going to keep SparkJeff alive. Just very unfortunate. Aldios does get that trade though onto Cal after he used that judgment that we saw, and now it's just going to allow them to finish off what we see here from the front side of Envy.
Hello, Adios, a recent sub-in for this team. He's saying goodbye to Cal constantly. Insane trade there, especially on Cal on Final Judgment. That is not what you want to see. Energy 2 starting to really come into what we saw in that first Dom map, just forcing them now to get pushed back and bullying them on the map of their choice, their home court.
Oh, look at this. The animation canceled. The wall 2 from Groot. Magneto ult from Vez looking down below. Protection here, but it's not going to protect you from the clobbering Spark Chief who comes in. The Groot ult, the Strangling Prison, trying to bring them together here. Not going to be able to find just that one mark over to the other side. A nice split angle from FlyQuest as Aldios does have that Extermination here. I have Agamotto now from Kaluj, but Energy's already done the damage, already found the 3K, forcing Envy back.
That was just a bunch of chaos. We've got the Groot wall to protect the whole team, but then you have the Meteor Imp crashing down on Kaluj, and then we have Window forced to use his imprisonment just as a space-making tool. But then this showcases the hero of the season. Ultron's ultimate is so great to not only put that pressure on, which he was doing, but also keep his team alive in the Agamotto.
Oh.
Needed a little boost.
Energy looked at Speedery once. You find Speedery in a closed room like that, you try to run away because you know the kidnap's coming, especially putting you in the line of sight of the rest of Energy's backline here instead. Great first pick. That's going to slow things down here for FlyQuest, and that's even going to put a dent to things. A follow from Kalush too to find Zelos.
Insane job, though, just staying the whole team alive. I thought that was about to be a full wipe. Speeder, you can tell he's playing angry. He's definitely channeling his cosplay of Logan, who plays with full rage. Now as Vest trying to get that poke damage, create that space. And right now, there is no space to be given as Envy is feeling, again, just absolute mad as they're pushing forward.
Guess that works hand in hand with Speedery's positioning here, though. Gets the kid up onto Adios. Somebody helping me. Backs away. They have some ultimates, though. And there's that exterminate that you were mentioning, Adios. Not only having that just as quickly navigating away, just helps the backline here, too. But the Eternal Bond is going to build up that space to allow Envy to move all the way up. Yes, FlyQuest answered back with Cooper having the fate of both worlds, but that's just for the sustainability. And now you have to worry about Cal and the Judgment.
Yeah, we need to see more use here of this Final Judgment and getting just what you're looking for. Unfortunately, not getting everything they want here. Best is going down, though, and this is going to open up now the window for them to defeat Window and push forward here. Spark Chief has that clobbering time. They can set up. Best also, didn't use that Meteor Imp on Final Judgment. They can use this aggressively if they choose to do that. And Speedery on the prowl. Look at this.
Dude, Window also looks so scary, just poking his head out like a horror movie here. But the clobber in time, and Speedery now comes in, clawing right through them instead. Now the follow-up with the Magneto ultimate. Cluj misses its mark again. The dance of butterflies coming in from Energy, at least from the backline here, but doesn't find, once again, we're seeing a lot of these more neutral fights, as some of these raw fights and follows from Spark Chief is now going to be able to find 2, make it 3. Envy, they finally get cleared out, but it took a good amount of time out of FlyQuest.
Yeah, but that's what you're looking for. I mean, FlyQuest, are you kidding me? Unfortunately, Kalush just could not find a connection there for the Meteor Imp. Had to elect to use it on the Thing, which the guy has so much health. Not going to do much. Healers can top him right back off. And look at the ultimates. We've got Extermination. We have the Meteor Imp that's still been, held on to. And then we've got Zealous with the Invisible Boundary. This is definitely their point to take.
Alios already looking at them funneling right through that one hallway here, but you can't ignore Speedery, who's also got that last stand, Eternal Bond. Now, going to be able to contest here, and Cal too with the follow-up. Going to be able to find 2. Kalush right afterwards. Yes, they got cleared out, but they came back swinging.
Yeah, I mean, that was a massive pick to get right away to open things up, and they already used some of their stuff. We had the extermination used. Right now, only 2 ultimates to give. Cooper does have that Fate of Both Worlds he can lean into, but if they can land, if Envy can land this perfect window ult, it could be a tough thing to counter up here, as we now have Adios just trying to farm his ult back up.
Marcelos has that reaction here. Cooper will have the Fate of Both Worlds to try to counter that. Seeing the timing of when Window will use that Strangling Prison instead. Energy, though, finds some great shots. Onto Speedery. He's going to be able to get reset, building into those support ultimates. Monta just used that God of Mischief earlier. And now Cal with that Judgment, looking at the Fate of Both Worlds, though, from the other side. Energy coming in, though, right on time, isolating them from the back. Gets the clear out from Envy. It's going to be a wipe.
Energy is just playing lights out. It wasn't even a dance. That was a surgical choreography of just violence. I mean, perfect play and execution there. Best with the follow-up. That's what you're looking for. You only have 1 minute and 36 seconds. That's a significant time difference than what Envy had. But look, they didn't use much. They only had to use that dance, Vicky. They've got everything at their disposal.
Silent but deadly. The way that Energy approaches this right now, when you least expect it. And that was through Cal looking forward, holding up with that Judgment. Star Chief now, they look around instead. Gonna be able to pop in that Freedom, the Magneto ultimate of the OS2 with the extermination, though. Like, Magneto Meteor not gonna find its mark once again here for Kaluj.
Spark Chief trying to force out those lanterns, does so successfully for a month, unable to take them out, but they got the key cooldown. They've got to capitalize on this, though, because that was big. As Vest goes up, he goes down, he gets the hit, and the purple falls down on Month as they take them down and they get the pressure forward. But, of course, Speedery doing Speedery things, taking out Adios. The Flyer's now gone, and a strategist.
And Vez, though, now not only cutting up that eternal bond, but then finding that next pick here, too. Energy has Cal's number in their heads. Window then goes down without using that group ult once again, too, having no opportunity.
That is not what you want. That's the same thing that happened in reverse of this point for Envy. Window just not being able to use this imprisonment, or really much of them, to the way that he wants to. We have another dance coming out. The butterflies. Here comes a lantern. Nice patience, though, not using it quite yet, but those cooldowns have been burned. Vicky, we're going to see this dance. Can he stay alive? Energy's pick, though. That's massive.
That's a huge pick here, too. Nice little snipe from Window. There goes the Strangling Prison right when they called for it, but Zelos was ready to go with the invisible boundary. Kaluj is about to have that Freedom charge himself. It's a great stall potential as the overtime is now taking away FlyQuest, desperately to stay on this point, being on the attack. Fate of Both Worlds activated from Cooper. Adios with the extermination, who's been able to get that so quickly, but now you have to worry about the final Judgment from Cal.
Cooper only has a couple seconds left on this ultimate, but it doesn't matter because Energy is back. They got the pick, but they had enough time to get him back and use that dance. But we're going to get what you see in competitive ladder all the time. The stalls from Captain America. I can do this all day. No, you can. He is done. He is out. And FlyQuest does the speechless 2-0 start against Envy. My God.
The fact that this is best of 5, FlyQuest right now with the immediate turnaround after their lackluster day 1 performance are now here, 1 game away from putting themselves in the grand finals.
I cannot believe this run that they're on right now. Again, we saw it in the MRI, same thing. But this is even more impressive to go down to such a shock and to a point where we ranked FlyQuest at the top 4 and people were just clamoring, how could you put them so high? Well, this is why, guys, right here, right now. Hey, can we just point out 28 final hits from Energy? What in the actual heck?
Dude, what? The Energy was there at such good times, but not only that, was able to keep splitting up the attention from that back line. And even with that, I have to give props to Nero, who still put down 63,000 healing. It's difficult when you have to worry about Energy on the other side.
Just absolute perfection from them. And honestly, it just seemed like Envy did not have it together on defense there. The ults were not lining up at all. You know, Speedery, getting a couple big picks here and there, but I just did not, we definitely expect better Vanguard play from Window and Kaluj, great players, but it just was not lined up there, especially on defense. And it was hard to deal with. Adios, honestly, doing an incredible job of peer pressure. The 3 strategist comp, you have so much to deal with at once. and they were unable to deal with it in the biggest moment.
You know what's great too? Seeing Adios pop off in the way that Adios did with Ultron, whereas in Envy, when they had tried to roll out with the Iron Man, Speedery had to make that force swap in that third point because there wasn't a lot of cover to play off of and was getting focused a lot. And even with Envy having Cal on that Punisher, still had Adios being a problem. Combine that together with energy.
Unfortunately, right now, Envy's looking more like empty, and I've got to now put energy at this point into the conversation of one of the elite duelists in America. We've talked about him a lot, but the respect is being earned right now. It's not given, as we have seen, as we see the 5 feet unfold in front of us here. And I'm going to be the color of my jacket by the end of this thing because it's just pure chaos and maximum hype here. Adios, though, is the highlight that we've got for you right now. 29,000 damage on Ultron. This is truly the age of him as we look at these stats.
It's great to see how Ultron is also just developed as a character since Ultron's release. I feel like now a lot of people cannot ignore how good Ultron is. Of course, having that perfect back strategist to help you out is necessary here, but with the amount of output you have, damage on top of the assist that you could build up, it helps you a lot, especially when you have these flanking backlines moving forward, like when you have a Psylocke here on your team.
Yeah, without question. And again, if you guys are just now coming here, the reason this reaction you're getting from us is most people, I would say a large percentage, had Envy as the very best team. It went down a little bit after 100 Thieves clinching, but still, they've just been on a rampage for the last couple of months since the MRI and the MRC. And that's where this shock value is coming from. FlyQuest, though, it kind of feels like there's Sentinels in the way of they get wins, they've done great things, but they're not always getting their flowers. They're definitely going to get them if they can finish the job here. And it could come down to right here, right now. Nobody had 3-0 FlyQuest in this best of 5. But if there's a team that can come back easily, it is going to be Envy if they can lock it up. And I've got to say, Vicky, a lot of this, it's just ran through energy. If you can control him, you can control Fly.
Yep, you know, another word for Envy, just generosity, I guess, right here, looking at the way that Envy has been playing. And right now, with FlyQuest just one more game away from sitting in the grand finals, it's right there. They can taste it, but will they do it?
Yeah, we're going to find out here in just a moment. You guys aren't going anywhere. Come on, it's match 3. We're going to go and jump in just a second. But first, we're going to take a quick break. What's going on, guys? We head into match 3 between FlyQuest and Envy. And Vicky, I'm looking at the stats, and the story tells it all. The damage is there for Envy. They have, in fact, some more than just FlyQuest. But the story is in the ultimate battles and the way they use those, but also the eliminations. We had both duelists going down 12 times for Envy in comparison to 8 of energy and the rest of the team at that. That's going to be the majority of the story there.
And that's with Speedery and Cal making a bunch of swaps to find certain counters at the very end between different checkpoints too when they were withheld. I also really do feel like the back line of FlyQuest were enabled a lot more. Yes, Adios, the Ultron, he got MVP. We see this all the time, but I have to constantly highlight Cooper, because Cooper, the damage outputs there, the freeze plays have been there too. We saw that follow-up too at one point between Vez coming in together with Cooper. Adios right side by side with Cooper, but this has been a problem, and I would be surprised if we don't see maybe a Psylocke ban, but it's been a lot of these target bans in general that we've witnessed, Cozy.
It's like the NFL. Stats don't always matter. You can have a flashy team, but the end result is it. And Nero had 63,000 healing, right? Like, you would think that combined with Vanguard's going for 30k plus will get the job done, but it was not the case. Now, we do have a different start, and obviously from Envy, because they're not liking what has been unfolding thus far. Storm locked in. Speedery, he wants to play the X-Men goddess over there. But on the other side, yeah, you can't ban energy because they went with Wolverine. He played Psylocke, and then, you know, vice versa. They're going to do the same thing here. Let's see what they look to do.
Or be able to protect the Magneto too. Man, Vez also was just on fire for FlyQuest, whether it was on the Strange, the Magneto in this case here. Looking at what we're going to be banning, though, from Envy onto FlyQuest, the Loki, maybe following something similar here, as the Loki's going to be one banned.
Yeah, and they're going to get the ban on both big Vanguards. They're going to get rid of Magneto here, most likely, right? Are they trying to bait them into that? Because Envy, they saved the Storm, not that early Vanguard that we've been seeing the story of. But the thing is, Envy can play a lot of Vanguards at a high level, as we've seen here. So they're going to probably go with, you know, either Groot, Cap, or Strange anyway. But they have both those out, and, you know, getting rid of Magneto opens up a ton for other heroes.
It also enables the Fate of Both Worlds, the Eternal Bond from the Cloak and Dagger. Not so scared here. You do have to worry about the Iron Man in case we do see that again, but we saw a lot of protection coming in from the side of FlyQuest.
Yeah, definitely a very different story here. Clintar is always just a close and tight map. We've got the save, though, so they got rid of the Vanguards. This is going to be huge. They got rid of AMER, right? They got rid of Magneto. Two of Wolverine's, I would say, weaknesses, but energy doesn't seem to have much. But now you're going to have to deal with what is going to be a Groot Doctor Strange mix versus that Wolverine.
Oh no. All right, let's see how that's gonna play out. I mean, I know that, you know, we've seen different iterations of these Vanguards taken advantage of. Let's see what that last save is gonna be, though. And hovering over that Groot, it would make it the second, if they protect the Groot. Okay, yes, it's gonna be the second time now in the entirety of Ignite that we've seen Groot protected.
That would have been insane if some reason FlyQuest just goes for the whole Vanguard shut off. But yeah, definitely, you know, Window, I would say once a lot of those ults back from Yggdrasil, his performance was great. You know, 36,000 damage, 11 final hits, but he's going to want to make sure he, you know, kind of irons in those ults, the group hugs, as I like to call them, here as we finish things off and we wrap things potentially up with this matchup. Punisher, though, banned for Cal.
Okay, and then we get to see here on the other side, no cap there too, saving the Wolverine, the Magneto in favor for FlyQuest here. But looking at Kaluj, we know the flexibility that Kaluj has, Window being on that group here too. Considering the fact that we're also now moving on, seeing Speedery being on the Storm, Nero being on that Ultron, I'm expecting a lot more of that flying action too, but it's going to be good because here on Clintar, you have a lot more of that verticality that you can work around.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw it yesterday. Cal was struggling, and it's a little bit there today. Now he doesn't have Punisher. That is where a lot of the story's unfolding. It looks like he's on Mantis for now. Maybe they go the triple strategist path here, but we go to Clintar, and we've got the symbiote, the escort, over to Noel himself as we begin match 3, FlyQuest versus Envy. Could FlyQuest sweep or maybe a reverse sweep? There's a lot in store.
First time Storm is locked in. First times for a lot of things, it looks like, already within this first series that is the best of 5. Let's get this started. 1 game win away for FlyQuest to take it home to meet up in the grand finals. As we're going to get started already here, Envy just looking ahead as they're going to be able to now navigate away through this alleyway, and look where Energy's positioning is on this Wolverine.
He's stalking. He's ready to go. He's trying to get his first hit in the limb of the match. He's targeting Window hard. You're going to see it a lot today as the high ground, as Obi-Wan once conquered, is going to be for FlyQuest now with Energy kind of on the left side. They're going to go right up Main Street, Vicky.
Going to take their time here, looking over the right side. I like the FlyQuest positioning, though, still getting out of the line of sight of Envy. Off to that right angle. Window, though, having to split that attention and seeing Energy trying to get the kidnap. Nice little save here, but it's not going to be enough as Vez is going to be able to get the finishing blow onto Nero.
Vez has been playing some of the greatest Magneto play in this tournament. Top tier kid, he goes crazy. We've seen a lot from him, but I've got to say, Vez, hello. The respect is there as we move forward. Vez with, as we speak of him, now getting both supports or 2 of them down. Now going down as Mantis, and the Mantis pick is very curious here, right? Obviously, you can have the damage boost there. Maybe they're just trying to have Speedery carry. Maybe at this point, it's like, Speedery, just do what you do best, man. We need you to get out of this 2-0 hole that we're in.
And you can also just try to get the damage boost onto Nero. Kaluj, though, with the stun at the same time as Energy. If it isn't the torch after you ban it, if it isn't anything else, Energy then comes in. No Psylocke necessary with the Wolverine to get that finishing blow. And then with Alvio saying goodbye to the rest of the competition. More time wasted away from Envy.
Just absolute crazy. That ult just does it. It doesn't just clear space. It just creates the graveyard that we're used to seeing. It's crazy the amount of pressure right now. And Speedery, though, does get that pick on Audios. You have Nero now coming back with Extermination, but that internal bond's going to be there just in time as Energy trying to go for the kidnap. But we do have the Groot ult connecting. They were looking for this last time. Speedery with the cleanup. We've got every ult coming out. They've used their entire ultimates outside of Gal, and it looks like they're going to at least get this first fight done.
And with Month keeping everyone alive as well through the Fate of Both Worlds, Speedery is the final blow here. Going to be able to clean up the rest of FlyQuest. Great takeover now, and they're going to be able to have some of that extra time in the time bank here, while FlyQuest are trying to go take control over that one corridor over that right side.
Yeah, 4 minutes left, right? And that was just perfect execution of the Olsen Speedery just going off here as Storm. I can see right away. You've got the Storm Protect. You've got the Mantis with the non-stop damage boost. That blue arrow, you're going to see the entire time, Vicky. It's going to be non-stop for Speedery. And that's what you do for your best players. Ready with everything on the line here as we have the fastball special ready to go out.
Let's go. Gotta pocket them, gotta give them that boost that they need, and energy sending him out here like a Pokemon, trying to find the one target from the skies. But once you think you can escape here, the Omega Hurricane coming out from Speedery. Window had found Vez too in the process. This is gonna be a cleanup and another reset coming out of FlyQuest to then re-engage onto Envy.
That's exactly what you want if you're Envy right now. You didn't have to use that much. A little bit of a stagger that they're trying to get there on Bruce Banner. Energy going now too. Now it's going to take a long time for this team to get back together. And they only had to use that Omega Hurricane. And the fact of having Windows ready to rock and roll now too, as well as the Agamotto. They've got what they need here with 3 minutes and all momentum.
It's a big stall though, at least from Energy, to just linger on that point to prevent any sort of progress from Envy. And now as they wrap around, FlyQuest will still have time themselves to try to contest here on the point, dropping down from the high ground just temporarily before re-engaging up on top of that bridge. Sparkchief gets the stun though onto Speedery. Here comes the extermination now coming in from Nero, but the fate of both worlds is going to help them stay alive. The Mantis ultimate too with the Soul Resurgence just to then re-engage. Cal gets stunned just temporarily, but the Soul Resurgence ends right on time. Energy then finds that blow onto Cal here, and over to the other side, Sparkchief still always having that ultimate ready to go just to get that reset.
Energy trying to get everybody grouped up so we can get the huge Berserker Rage off, but we've got the Agamotto coming in clutch here. I like the switch for Sparkchief, though. That Hulk swap was massive to take care of Speedery, but also put the pressure on. We've seen him do it before. That's a big, green, mean machine, and he does it again.
I'm scared. It's terrified. Puts you in the blender here instead. Works out for FlyQuest Sparkchief, and a huge stagger with the rest of the team. Oh, no. He's just the boy. Window sending him back, but that's a big stagger away from Envy.
Yeah, that I am Groot was just one big help. Good God, in my life. But anyway, as we go and push forward here, love what the adjustments have been made here for FlyQuest. All of a sudden, that 5-minute clock is down to 1 minute and 56 seconds. We've got 20, though, for Envy. And Energy, though, opening up with the Nero kidnap in the air. He's going crazy.
Dude, he is shooting out these birds from the sky right now with the way he's been trying to kidnap them out. The O's now going to be able to clear up some more space with that judgment. Even if it doesn't find its mark, it finds it at least there onto Window, but nobody could peek a toe out of line. Just going to be able to buy even more time away from him, forcing them to go off to the right side.
Yeah, back-to-back rough eliminations there for Window. As that ult ready to go there, Speedery looking to open up with that Omega Hurricane. But they have both the Gentle Bond and, yeah, that dance floor ready to rock and roll here. Omega coming out. Let's see which one goes out first. It's going to be the dance floor. Nice little 2 ticks to really save that damage coming in. And my goodness, the Clouds, there's 0% chance of any storms at this moment.
Yeah, the Clouds have not cleared up just yet. Instead, you could call it in with the way that FlyQuest has once again just pushed everybody out. Even with the attempt that we're currently seeing from the other side with Speedery now not having to, not again. Window just came back.
Yeah, he was Groot. Now he is Groot again in about 10 seconds. Just rough time there. Weather report is 100% chance of respawn there for Speedery.
99 wood cutting here. Just with the way that Window has just been completely staggered back to back. Slicing, though, is going to be Energy, trying to get another kidnap. Nice protection right there, too, but it's not going to be enough here as the Eternal Bond now comes up. Manta's ultimate to keep everybody in. Eye of Agamotto for Eye of Agamotto, but the whole shields helping them out right on time. Cooper getting that finishing blow, though, but that stops Envy with that win condition. Kalush really was leaning into the Eye of Agamotto.
Back-to-back, I have Agamotto's both strangers seeing 14 million outcomes, and they still somehow chose to not get that done there for either team. But we have Speedery going in now, trying to get that pick. There's nothing to keep him up, and they get it. But the cloak bubble just being an ultimate within itself, such a good ability as Audio Cell putting the pressure back on, getting rid of Speedery. It's overtime clock, Vicky. This could be it.
The counter ult, though, that Audios used against Speedery. 2 out for Envy this time around, and FlyQuest, after dancing it up with the fate of both worlds, keeps FlyQuest alive. Energy getting 2 here. Vez popping off. Hey, stop Energy before they get to that second checkpoint.
This is some of the most locked-in, perfect play that this is a good day for FlyQuest to play their absolute best, and a bad day for Envy, unfortunately, to be playing some of their worst. It's just tough for this team that I know has a lot of talent on that team is just not coming together right now. It's not working right now for Envy. That is a huge stop for Fly.
I just feel like the way that they've had to invest a lot of these bans to deal with energy specifically here too just allows Adios to also have that moment of popping off. Now seeing some swap ups here to see how they're going to lead into this. This is do or die situation right now for Envy.
That was a 4.5 minute hold for FlyQuest. 4.5 minutes. And not to mention the first fight was done in 10 seconds, Envy won. And then they proceeded to hold, and they just could not finish up that point. And everything right now, obviously Speeder 20k, but everything's going towards him at the moment. Cal now over to Wolverine, off what was that Mantis to help out, right? But at this point, you're gonna have to put the defense of your life, right? The 80s Bears defense here for Envy.
It's gonna be really hard. Can you also imagine just being the mental of Window, who got staggered like what, twice, 3 times or so, just trying to get back to the rest of the team?
Yeah, just absolute rough. Again, just now back-to-back days, unfortunately here for Envy. But hey, again, they can get the job done. They can turn it off. But will that switch be flipped as Vest is bringing in the portal and the pressure right away? He's thinking, oh, do I want to go up to Cal? He's like, nah, he's had enough right now. Let's go up ground. This is kind of the common competitive ladder spot for a lot of teams as they're just taking this up ground. But we've got Spark Chief and Energy going right up Main Street.
Taking a roundabout position with them being up on this high ground here too, but while the other 2 members from the back line just try to sandwich them, it's the FlyQuest special Energy though, takes a lot of damage, 1 shot, nice protection and bubble that we currently see coming out too from Zelos. Cooper right on top of it from the protection of Vesh's shield. Spark Chief though going down first though, just sets up Envy to have the man advantage. In this case, Cal backs away, is able to get reset.
Yeah, good TBS there, making sure Spark Chief is a non-factor and trying to get rid of that Hulk green machine right away. He'll have to take the up path. He can get back pretty fast though. Cal though, full rage up top, trying to hunt his prey, but he's forcing now FlyQuest to back up a bit. They're kind of swapping spawns at this point as now Energy's looking for his hunt. It's going to be a Wolverine on Wolverine action as the Logan square up.
Gotta bring out the final adamantium here to this fight. Cal, though, eliminates here Adios, isolates him rather. Kaluj deals the finishing blow, but inside Nero's having the counter, clapping the life away as Cal then follows up with the damage output. FlyQuest, they get wiped here.
Yeah, and again, this first point is pretty tough to take. Look at the stagger too. Sparks is trying to get back. Yeah, this is, yeah, for the Groot on the last match, right? I would say this is one of the tougher points to take if you're not locked in, and they only have 2 minutes and 20 seconds to take what was a legendary defensive effort from FlyQuest. But we just might see it. We might see it here as 2 minutes are on the clock. Energy swapping over to match now Speedery.
Look at the ultimate economies, though. Currently got 5 available for Envy, about to be 6 from Cal. So approaching that, well, FlyQuest do have those strategist ultimates just to keep everyone alive. It's going to be big to see how Vez approaches this Eye of Agamotto.
Yeah, they've got everything under their disposal. Luckily, though, FlyQuest has the defensive measures they need, and they've got the final judgment that they want here for Adios. Here comes the Eternal Bond to open things up. We're getting Kalush to open up with the eye, and he pops and takes down Adios. No final judgment here today, at least for this match. Now, perfect placement of ultimates if you're Team Envy. Now we're going up and down with the Berserker Cal. Oh, the perfect dance, Vicky.
Yeah, the fate of both worlds right there, too. And that was after getting stunned by the Eye of Agamotto, by the way. Cooper had stayed alive, utilized that fate of both worlds, reset FlyQuest after they lost out on Zelos earlier on. And now you have to deal with the Omega Hurricane. Oh, economy for Envy here. Window coming in. Clobbering time, but Adios coming in late with the final judgment. It's going to be just enough of that damage to melt them down.
Yeah, and you get that early pick, but unfortunately you have to deal with Punisher at the end of it here, but they get a big invisible boundary to keep things up. There's 1 tick left. That's huge for Envy to come back, and Nero gets energy, and now gets Spark Chief, and my goodness, 55 seconds with only a sliver.
But it was Kalush who just stayed on that point, stayed alive for as long as possible for the rest of Envy to recontest. That was such a big swap into that invisible boundary. Now you have less than a minute on the clock.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that Kalush, they're going to stagger him. They don't have the portal to come back now. It's going to be rough. But at that point, it was perfect. And Kalush able to stall it out here. Now, Ultimate's in favor. Vest does have that Agamotto. But if we look towards the strategist, it's going to be all eyes on Nero. Can he get that farmed up in time? It's the closest strategist between all teams to get the dance out. Those 12 seconds of immunity could be all they need to get to the next match here. As we have 16 seconds. We can't lose Vest early here. What Agamotto's going to land?
Oh, slowly taking away, though, before recontesting. Fate of both worlds now, the Omega Hurricane, it sounds like here from Energy this time around. They're making that swap themselves, but the fate of both worlds still lingers for now. It lasts way too long, negating that with the counter. The Eye of Agamotto from Vest. It does fine too, but it's going to come in from the other side this time around from Kalush, and it's going to be a dance-off. Great timing from Cooper to enable Avios, which actually may help them out, but it's way too much damage in the long run.
Cooper unable to keep, unfortunately, Invisible Woman up, but did get it just in time. But they're getting the perfect limbs to get the job done here. Can Envy get it done? There's only a sliver left, not only on the point, but the overtime clock out slicing. He's dicing Energy now as Psylocke trying to get away. We've got the storm, the clouds opening up. Omega Hurricane coming down. Will this be the storm they're looking for? Just a sprinkle as he's going for the eliminations, pushing one sliver left, Vicky.
The fight keeps on going, though, even with Energy falling this time around, swapping over to that Psylocke to get back just as quickly. Vez finds Cal. Two, those stun coming out of Smart Chief with the clobbering time, too. It's the fact that you can dance around this portal, get into the line of sight, use it as protection. The fate of both worlds. The Eye of Agamotto now finding three. It finds Nero. I can't believe this. They did it. They did it in overtime with just a sliver, a pixel of that overtime bar away. It took everything. 4 different re-engagements from both teams.
I don't even, that was the ultimate combos were as tight. It was so tight it could hold vibranium shields together. That was so perfect of execution, but also not C9ing. I mean, Audios' pinky toe was on that point to keep it alive. I can just, if you're Envy, you're not happy because you had everything locked in there to go to the next map. They can go to 4, but here we go. Vest now trying to open things up for the team. There's a minute and 55 seconds here, Vic.
Oh, it's just the most insane overtime takeover. That window drops in. Covering time instead, getting a little bit of revenge, a taste of your own medicine if you're FlyQuest after what Spark Chief just did. That's going to wipe out the entire team from FlyQuest.
Yes, we got 95% there on Zillos. Cooper's getting close here. Spark Chief, listen, we've got what he is getting close to for Monster Hulk. This is going to be a tough point to push this far. They had 4 minutes, Envy, and couldn't get the job done. But let's see if FlyQuest can get it.
Struggled on getting that point in the first place, though. Kalush has the Eye of Agamotto. FlyQuest playing a bit split up. Energy's about to get the Dance of Butterflies after we noted that swap. Avios with the final judgment, maybe some help here from Zelos, but then they can just kite away from the invisible boundary as Energy gets into position here, just looking over to the side to boost up that Dance of Butterflies as they now have it.
Only 60 seconds.
Yeah, not on Captain America, but on Psylocke, he can do it all day. We've seen these staggers from the strategist. Can he go? There's the Dance of the Butterflies opening up, forcing the boundary out, which is clutch with 50 seconds on the clock. Nero, though, coming close to that fate of both worlds. Audio's going down to Speedery, though, and from there, it looks like a good snowball. They're pushing them back.
That invisible boundary was huge, and you know that Cal clenched up just a little bit after they cleaned up the rest of FlyQuest because he was a pixel away from that invisible boundary and had gotten stunned earlier too from Spark, but was able to get saved and then do enough damage to send FlyQuest back.
Yeah, right now, not just a snowball, but a full avalanche that we're seeing from Envy. They're holding on to the olds. Both teams have everything locked and loaded. This is going to be like the Infinity Gauntlet coming all together at once as the stones collide in these matches. These teams, they want it all. It's win. It's go home for Envy. Let's see.
It's more though, and the Canucks immediately dive here with the last stand. Huge first pick as Vest had the Eye of Agamotto. The judgment now coming in from Avios, looking to the other side, but then it's the counter from Nero. It's the dance off of fate of both worlds. That's going to keep the judgment up, but the Eye of Agamotto finding Zelos and Spark Chief. Zelos going to use the invisible under next.
Every single cue, every button being pressed, as we like to say here, as both teams throwing up both strategies to keep things alive. Vest still has that Eye of Agamotto, though. Can't get things going. Monster Hulk coming out. Zelos, so traded with Cal. That's a huge pick to get the momentum. Cooper now trading with a window. Overtime clock is on. Envy is out at the moment. Envy, again, looking empty, but they have to push it a far way. They're going to get the portal lock off here on the main doors. We've seen this a lot. Try to slow things down. They're going to get a little bit of peeking here. What are they going to do? And most importantly, Vicky, what path are they going to take to close off?
kidnapping BC, just waiting out that one last straggler, trying to isolate at least two members right there at the very same time. Good timing on the board to look behind them here just to make sure. You can already see Alios looking beyond. The rest of Envy, though, have cycled around through that tunnel here over to the side corridor and are looking to re-engage with some ultimates.
They haven't been able to yet. Can they stop energy? This one last dance of the butterflies. No speedery. Their MVP is going down. That's a huge pick early. We are getting the pushback, though. They stop the Agamotto from Vest. That's massive for momentum. We do have Month here ready, getting close to what they can do. But, oh my goodness, at this point, it's just going to be a neutral fight. Who can get the E-limbs? Nero starts it.
Oh, the follow from Nero off the Eye of Agamotto here too. Envy, they found two picks. Overtime taken away. You're lacking time. The invisible boundary from Zelos. Tries to reset, but left on the kidnap fence is pushed out of it thanks to Cal with some support with Window just yeeting him right back in their direction. You try to dance your heart out, Cooper, but there's only so much you could do as your teammates are dropping.
One of these Luna Snows is going to lose the show. There's only a sliver yet. Right now, Cal is slicing. He's nice to get the job done. We have energy coming back here. Spider-Man trying to get things together. Envy is the emotion, but victory is the result. They get things interesting. It's now 2-1.
They said, are you not entertained? We got a show on our hands. We ain't going down without a fight. Puts a stop to what FlyQuest was trying to attempt.
Yeah, again, if one team can get it done, it's Envy. We've seen this before. Both these teams have been here, but my goodness, this is Marvel Rivals at its freaking peak, folks, and I just can't get enough of it. Great job, both teams. Look at these stats. They look ridiculous. Looks like my career stats on the characters. Insane job.
Looking on the other side here too, Speedery once again 15 final hits alongside that with Cal with 14 final hits, but the swap ups of desperation that we saw from FlyQuest there, whether it be the Spider-Man, the Venom at some points there too, but losing those two crucial fights that they got pushed to their spawn after they got the payload moving finally was very detrimental, honestly, with the way that they just ran out of their time bank before that second checkpoint.
I love how Envy relied just on the Speedery show there for majority of it, and it showed. We saw into the stats and the clutchness, though, but every single role stepped it up. It was a bit rough there on the offensive push, but the Vanguards came back fully. I love both these teams. Love these players. Been watching all of them for as long as they've been in Rivals Esports. Again, new scene, but now we're going on, getting closer to a year as we're getting around where beta was live here. But from start to finish, also, I thought Cal on defense played a lot better. That's what you're looking for from that professional player. The ultimates were just a hair away from both teams at one moment, but Envy again get the job done, and now at this point it's going to be FlyQuest to pick the map and make things even more interesting.
I was about to say now that FlyQuest being on the losing side of this interaction here, the team who does lose that map gets to pick what side they want to start on, as well as the ban side, and that could work into their favor looking at how both of these teams though have very similar map stats.
Yeah, honestly, I just said it, but I gotta just say, hats off, Cal. Way to just really step it up here on that last play. And again, yeah, you make a great point there. I think we could see similar strategies. The bans, picks remained about the same here as Nero clutching up. Nero had some insane final hits. Those 9 right there, all of them mattered at each point. 3 of them coming at the very end in that neutral fight with that Agamotto from Kalush. 42,000 healing to get the job done. My goodness, only 6 eliminations too. Not a lot for what we saw.
And that's together with Month, who had so many clutch invisible boundary moments, especially at the end, staying alive just to get it when you're so close and everybody is blowing up their ultimates. You want to try to get desperately there. Month had gotten there, but man, we got a game on our hands here. Envy just now looking to crawl back after the lead that FlyQuest had already built up within the first 2 games.
Just as a fan of this game, honestly, like I just love watching this. I never mind being a caster, just like playing day in, day out, thousands of hours. I mean, I love what we're watching out here at the top level. It's where this really shines in esports again, being born right before our eyes. One team is going to escape with a legacy, better spot, seeding for the playoffs, and more money. And the other team is going to be sent packing. Guys, don't go anywhere. We've got another match 4 coming up. We're going to take a quick break. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Envy versus FlyQuest. You've got the underdogs that could win. People are cheering, but now it could be the comeback. And I've got to highlight everything before we head into our next match. Now, loser picks the map, Vicky, and if I'm FlyQuest, I think I'm going back to domination. After what I did on map 1, I would pick domination personally, as the modes are going to reset too. A couple things I wanted to highlight though. Cal switching to Wolverine was huge. We saw the ban from Envy to FlyQuest for Wolverine, but we did not see it in reverse. We probably get that this time. Also want to highlight that portal at the end from Vest. Love it. I know what he was trying to do, but you could have used that a ton to go back into the point.
Yeah, I thought he was trying to block them out or try to get a kidnap at some point. They're just waiting out. You see the last members of Envy moving outside those spawn room gates. But then at the same time, you just gave up so much space because you didn't block out that one corridor to let everybody through. Like maybe a little too late here. You let everyone in already at that point. Everyone's starting to engage. You split up your back line to look behind you. Dios was looking behind, as well as one other support player. I believe it was Cooper. And at the very end, that takeover just had them stagger longer and longer. Of course, their spawn room doors being way further to try to recontest in the situation.
It is domination after all. That's what I thought they were going to do, guys. Imagine the comeback. Imagine the upset. Either one can happen right here, right now, as Emma's the first ban. And guess what? Speedery's going to get his Human Torch.
Okay. Immediately puts the protect on that, making sure that they have the opportunity here. Then that's coming off of the fact that FlyQuest had gotten that banned first. So now they want to be able to prioritize making sure they get rid of the Emma Frost. Then the Magneto next. They're doing something very similar, trying to take care of these Vanguards.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, as we go into the next bit of it now, we're going to get that save for Magneto. Vest is going to want to play that mag. We know he is that master of magnetism. No magnetism from him. And for the first ban to fire away here, this is where it's like, do we see Luna get banned here? Do we see them go after energy yet again with the Psylocke Wolf in the later half of these triple bans? We're about to find out.
Or if they want to enable the torch here, I was gonna say either prevent another torch or a Punisher in this case here. But now moving forward, I'm expecting more of the strategist bans.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, Torch getting out of the picture here, and Ultron would be a big ban here to get rid of Nero. Nero and Speedery both play Ultron to a very high level, so I like this ban a lot. We've been having this Captain America ban, which again, I think some people might be shocked at, but at the end of the day, you know, at this level of play, he can do so much, especially on domination when you get that first cap, just like you would see in that ladder. Now that save is happening. Is it Wolverine? Do they protect what they want here from energy? Potentially, but it is. Okay, I thought they could go with Wolf here, Vic, or Strategist.
I mean, they would have no issue trying to knock down that torch from the sky. We've seen it already used up before, and they're tired of the Hulk. We see a Hulk ban because Spark Chief has just been the problem here when it comes to re-engaging a lot from FlyQuest and maybe even trying to utilize that domination duo that we saw before between Spark and then the No More that we also had from Adios.
Yeah, Spark Chief has just been popping off as the Gamma God himself, and just respect. There's that tip of the cap. Envy getting rid of that Hulk once and for all now. Doctor Strange Protect. We've been seeing this. We saw this yesterday a lot. So good here for this point on Krakoa. They get rid of the Thing, which, hey, I like it. You know, shutting down a lot of that strategist play early. You got Emma gone, Magneto gone, the Thing gone. That's going to force now probably just going to be the Groot and the Strange.
More than likely here. Gonna see window Cap. The Cap, of course, too, on the other side. We did see Cap try to mirror that alongside FlyQuest at the same time in that very first map. So already making some swaps here already. But this is gonna look good. And this is domination. This is where we saw FlyQuest fly, literally.
Yeah, and honestly, if you can get, if FlyQuest can get control of the flying and they can get that top space like we saw in Yggdrasil, as you guys see, first two going to FlyQuest, the comeback could happen, the upset could happen, either or. We saw Adios just on Ultron, and the man delivered both damage and healing, did a great job. So if they're able to get that job done with triple strategist yet again, I like their odds a lot here on Krakoa. Honestly, I think Krakoa has been such a great addition. The portals people may not love, but I think the entire map and the flow of it has put on just incredible games.
I like it. It's very nice. I like the music there too. I'd be jamming out whenever we pick up our characters, of course. But not only is the map aesthetically pleasing, I really like the portal play opportunities of closing in the gap to then do like a really intense re-engage. And we may be seeing that this time around as we get set up here. Envy put themselves on the board, but one more game win away from FlyQuest to be sitting in the grand finals.
That bubble going to Captain America makes him fly. He's already fast enough. My goodness. Here goes Cal back on Wolverine. We thought maybe we would see the band and respect it, but energy, we've seen him on Logan and what he can do, and it is absolutely terrifying as we got the fastball special. Spark Chief doesn't need the Hulk this time around. He's going to throw him right on to Cal. We're going to get Wolverine on Wolverine. Open things up.
It was like a jump scare. Just immediately yeets it in this direction, point blank at the same time here, too. A lot of poking and prodding from both angles, just trying to find that opening pick. Energy though, gets that kidnap. This is going to be it onto Kalush. Very big first pick in favor for FlyQuest here. Envy now having to back away before they try to just stall as long as possible to prevent this FlyQuest from having that lead.
Energy is what single-handedly carried the first domination round, and will he do it again? We're about to find out. It was the Energy, it was the best show, and the whole team collaborating together here as Energy gets yet another pick, and Vest follows up here. Now we got the Supernova slowly getting charged up for Envy, but on the inverse side, we got Invisible Boundary and Extermination about to be unlocked.
And it's only so many bans you could have, and if you try to target that Energy again out here too, like the 17 final hits that Energy had the last time they played on Domination just 2 games ago, Spark now is gonna be able to get Speedery, huge first pick, because that was gonna build into the Supernova for this next engagement.
A big domination because they felt confident. We're seeing it right here. Yeah, Speedery unable to charge up that ultimate that he was so close to. Is a big stagger and finish there as Window going down as well. Adios is right where he was on Asgard. Locked, loaded, and ready to control with the newest hero in Marvel Rivals in Ultron here as he's got that extermination. He can use it for pressure. He can use it to save the team. They've got all 3 strategists, and it's going to start with Adios.
Adios continuously being the problem. If it's not the Lemore, it's the Ultron instead. It does get answered back by the Fate of both worlds now, displayed from both sides, even from Cooper here, just allowing them to keep up this pressure. Zelos then has the next Eternal Bond, but Envy are playing this a lot more slowly.
Yeah, absolutely here as Envy now, they do have everything on lockdown, but FlyQuest is ready to respond with it. Kalush now with the perfect raise up and down in the Agamotto, but oh, the Eternal Bond to keep things going. Cal, though, does get that hit on Cooper to remove not only Cooper, but a ton of healing from this team fight.
Although Energy still surviving was insane right there. Going back to the safety, the safe big arms of the Eternal Bond. Magneto ult from Vez isn't going to be able to find his spark, but there was that Supernova from Speedery earlier on just to keep harassing them from inside this room. Monk does find Adios. It's a nice little trade-off from Energy earlier, but FlyQuest are just going to be able to back away here. They're still stalling for as long as possible because FlyQuest are already at nearing 95+%.
Yeah, it's going to be 99% cap, which is going to be crazy here as now we have Envy just a moment away. Month now getting that trade on Adios was huge. He has another extermination ready to go. But if we look on their side, Window can stall forever here with that cap ult. You have Cal going out with the Dance of the Butterflies. They need to slow things down, FlyQuest. You've got 99%. Looks like the point's probably going to go there, but no, they're going to keep it. Gas on, brakes off, remove him from the car as Adios is throwing down the extermination with that pressure. Window now forced to ult, running around Steve Rogers, doing it all day. Cal looking for the skies and the pick. Vicky, can he get Adios? He does.
Ooh, the follow-up for Speedery. Good communication right there, too. Cal now just jumps right back around. Gets the reset here, too. Gets propped up as well by Spark being on the thing. And he's about to have clobbering time. It's just waiting out to see this ultimate here as Nero stops the dance off of the Fate of both worlds from both sides. The collide as Energy jumps in, finds 2, and it's looking unstoppable with the way that Energy plays on these domination maps as Wolverine.
I believe that was mid-ult, too. He stopped the Eye of Agamotto, and they removed the brakes on purpose because it was all gas. It was all FlyQuest, and it is now Envy with 1 map left. And their hopes of advancing to the grand finals for seeding for Legacy on the line.
The best lower bracket run we have ever seen thus far. Let us not forget FlyQuest lost to Eagle Death 2-0 day 1 here and have made the comeback. Now 1 more game round win from sitting in the grand finals.
Energy, good gosh, I can't say enough. I'm just so impressed right now. I've seen, again, young kid and the performance he's put on thus far, and I've watched him develop. He was a lot of hella for a while, and now that they've kind of let him loose, and to Wolverine's point, the leash unleashed as we go into what could be our final map between these 2 teams.
Can't be tamed. Cannot be tamed here. It's fitting, especially having things just to yeet Energy forward. It's going to set things up here together into following up a lot of these team combos that we're currently seeing from FlyQuest, and they'll have Spark with that ultimate with the clobbering time.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we've got that clobbering time to set up a lot, as you pointed out here. And Envy, they used everything to try to hold on to that point and could not do it. But Cal will be able to get some crucial picks here. There's no strategist holds to keep him alive. He's going to want to farm this fast and then go for that dance right away. Not the Luna, but the Psylocke sword slashes as Energy slashes away, gets those hits. It goes for the point on the immediate unlock as Window matches.
We have to highlight, though, what Envy has changed up, though. They brought out the Jeff, they brought out the Storm, so they're going to be able to try to pull out some of the strats that we've seen earlier on against FlyQuest themselves.
Yeah, not the Jeff NATO. Not the last resort Jeff NATO, but you got Speedery window switching from cap to that Jeff. We've got a Jeff sighting here, and we're a couple months away from Shark Week. As Adios now with that extermination, keeping the team alive. Kalush trying to stall. This is going to be the Omega Hurricanes. The clouds open up. The tornado goes down, but clobber time lands.
It's the right time for it when it's Hurricane Season 2. You found both of the back lines here from FlyQuest, and now it's just a matter of time before you meet them back in the spawn.
I always love when it's just so much fighting, and then you look at the cap, and it's only 11%. You're like, oh my gosh, it's already felt like an eternity. Good swap up, though. I like that. They didn't even have to use the Jeff Neto there. They just used Speedery and the Omega Hurricane. Now, again, we've got Cal here. All those changes, too. Remember, this is the old build, so those changes have not come into this yet. And those are significant because they definitely tamed Jeff Nato down a bit.
It's a really good point here. Just to highlight, not playing on the current build right now. A lot of practicing currently with the way that Envy has been able to take advantage of a lot more of these different compositions. We're going to yeet out the Wolverine, try to find that mark onto Speedery perhaps, setting it all the way forward, wrap around the pillar, finds him again, but the pushback though just stops the attempt on trying to isolate that storm. Now Cal comes up here on the high ground, and the fate of both worlds, the dance up to keep them alive on the low ground.
Adios is trying to get just begging to be a part of the dance floor. Frank Castle just trying to get any of that healing. Perfect play from Energy, but perfect response as well with the kidnaps that they're looking for. We've got now the Jeff Nato. It's coming out. Here it is. They're swallowing him up and ready to spit him out as they get 1, now 2. And can they make it 3 to 4, Vic?
Oh, baby, it's a triple, it's a quad, it's a wipe, it looks like here. FlyQuest have been molly-whopped, and they've been the victims of the Sharknado.
It's a Cat 5, an absolute Cat 5 there from Speedery, and that's what they were looking to do. Again, when times are tough, you pull out the Jeff Nato, and we see that right here, right now, as we've got now 76%. Again, this is for advancement. Envy's got to win here, or it's the end.
We've seen this before from Envy, beating Solaris in a very close series themselves here. They had the Luna Van. They came out with a Sharknado comp here too. And now it's working out for them this time around. Month has that invisible boundary. Spark, though, gets stunned temporarily. Backs away right on time after making that top over to the Venom.
Yeah, that Venom just to keep things going here with 99%. They got to touch. They're touching now. We got Final Judgment up for Frank Castle. That's their main focus. They've got to get this down here. He doesn't have any strategies to keep him alive too, but he is going to dance in that cloak bubble, which might as well be to keep him up and healthy. Now Kalush is trying to keep things going. Cal trades there with energy. That's huge, and that's going to be the map.
Oh, the round here for Envy. This is big. Not only being able to hide out of the line of sight of the Punisher ult, but good timing on making sure you can isolate the backline. We are truly going the distance.
Listen, this Envy reminds me of a sports team. I don't know if you guys can relate what teams you guys follow, but it's like your team can never just win. They've got to win in the most narrow margin of victory to get the job done, keep things spicy, and that heartbeat fast. And we're seeing that from Envy. When everything's on the line, they keep getting the job done, but they have to do it one more time.
Better late than never, I always say, especially when you gotta change things up. You have to take out the Sharknado composition. And even when you come out with the Sharknado and it works in those 2 different interactions, even if you don't want to utilize the Jeff ult for that first engagement, it was all about timing there to just make sure that they stay on that point and prevent FlyQuest from taking it over.
Dude, 29k damage from Speedery is just silly. It's just absolute silly, showing one of the GOATs right now of Rivals. But great job from these strategists front, all 3 of them with good healing up there for FlyQuest. Both teams, they want it so bad. We saw the raw emotion from Spark Chief and the team on Twitter, and now it's Envy who has to hold it one more time. FlyQuest, they're right there. They're mere inches as we begin.
Jumping in from the portal this time. Envy neighboring that in front of them. Luis being on that Captain America too. For Spark Chief just staying on this Venom. Jumps in and gets annihilated, deleted. You blink, you may have missed it. And Cal gonna be able to pick that up, and now is currently trying to eye Energy in this 1v1 sidelock duel.
Yeah, goodbye, Symbiote. Go back to Null. No more. Venom is gone here as we go into... We have Cooper and Spark Chief, though, with that Wombo combo of ultimates. If you guys don't know, Venom, Luna, deadly there with the damage boost as we head in here, trying to push in Vest now, trying to farm up that ult, but the sky's opening up again. Here's the Jeff Nato.
Oh, it was just a matter of time. The fate of both worlds desperately utilized from Cooper, trying to keep everyone alive, but Spark gets caught in the crossfire, gets brought down, and that leaves Vez. The Eye of Agamotto, though, gets pushed all the way back. Talk about the timing here from Month on that Invisible Woman to make sure that that was no impact.
Yeah, I mean, Month is doing a great job on those Ivalgamotos, but there's not much you can do when you have extermination coming from Audios there. So great trade there as they're somehow able to keep things alive through the Jeff NATO. And again, one of the things they fixed about the Jeff NATO, Vicky, was the time to eat and swallow up, giving Jeff time to chew his food, as they said. And that would have made a big impact there.
This time around, just gonna be able to swallow anything he needs to put to win this game, as FlyQuest now gonna be able to plant their feet on the point. Envy do have Cow with the Dance of Butterflies, as well as Kaluch with that Freedom Charge.
Absolutely. Here we're going to see if Spark Chief can get some space and pressure here, pushing that team back. Now Kalush having that huge. And here's the Dance of the Butterflies going on the back here. Can Cal get the connections he's looking for? They're doing a great job keeping things together. That's one way to counter Psylocke, is share the load of the sword.
The pairing, though, between Zelos and Cooper keeping each other alive. Spark Team once again the first to go out, though, from FlyQuest. Things need to change if this Venom is not working out. You've already used up your ult. The invisible boundary is now being put up by Envy, and they're slowly just trying to retake this with energy, lurking around, looking to use a Dance of Butterflies now, this time on the backline, and Ferdy finds window.
An absolute ninja demon, as we just seen time after time, with the slash and the accuracy and the precision from Energy. And all this fight, as long as it's lasting, it's just ticking up the clock for FlyQuest. 57-58.
Working out in their favor. The follow-ups that we're currently seeing between Energy right now just leading the way, and now FlyQuest have a plethora of ultimates here. 4 ultimates on the come-up, looking at Zelos.
Absolutely. Here Kalush now on the top end at 70%. This is so crazy. These teams are just dumbing everything. This is an absolute cinema performance. Must watch TV as Kalush is pushing forward. Speedery opening up the skies. The Jeff NATO once again down, but Ultron Audio's trying to keep everybody alive and get this pick.
Oh, at least they get Month, and they fly right above the Sharknado. They try to capture him. They try to hone in on him, but it's not going to be enough. They've stopped the Omega Hurricane. They've stopped the Jeff NATO, and now FlyQuest are nearing 99% on winning this game.
Absolute craziness from Audios from the skies here as Kalush is forced to go in with the portal. This is Envy's last hope. Will this be it for Envy, or will they say good night as they're going in and out the portal time and the dance floor to keep them alive? This is chaos.
And the fact that you get to use the Fan of Both Worlds just on the lip of the portal, but Cooper uses it second just to keep the sustainability alive. The Eye of Agamotto as Envy don't have anything else to use. Meanwhile, FlyQuest have all the win conditions. They have 3 ultimates. They have Zelos with the Eternal Bond, Vez's Horse with the Eye of Agamotto in a flashy way. FlyQuest are leading their way to the grand finals.
In the hands of the strategist, the quest continues, and the wings are not clipping anytime soon, as FlyQuest seems to do the impossible and takes out Envy to advance to the grand finals.
I cannot believe this run that we have now witnessed from FlyQuest. They've taken down Envy. Before yesterday, Envy was on a winning streak. It was put up and stopped by 100 Thieves in a clean 2-0 fashion. Now, FlyQuest, they join the team, they move on up, and they are going to be facing up 100 Thieves in the grand finals.
Astonishing. Honestly, astonishing here. I mean, they went from a propeller plane in the upper bracket to jet fuel AC 130 in the lower. Just an insane performance there across the board. And Cooper getting that MVP on the bottom. The effort and just the insane perfect play from the strategist. Audios subbed in the lower bracket, and we're seeing what he's done today. Hats off to Envy. You guys, you're an incredible team, but right now the lights, it's on FlyQuest as they advance to fight 100 Thieves for the rematch of the Marvel Rivals Invitational.
I am not over these games. I'm not over what we just witnessed right now. Cooper doing such a good job. They negated the Dance of the Butterflies like twice back to back on that final round, keeping each other alive, and that was without ultimates, by the way. That was in terms of positioning, and Cooper getting helped out together with Zelos. Aldios, of course, being on that Ultron, helped out majorly here too, but the Wolverine energy was a problem. If it wasn't the Wolverine, it was a Psylocke, and then making the adjustments around the Sharknado after that was pulled out on them by Envy for round 2.
Just FlyQuest played at their absolute best today. That's the best way I can say it. I mean, in Envy, they were getting things together there at the end, but again, too little too late. Best of 5. FlyQuest got the best of every bit of it, as we saw map after map, and how hard that is to do after not only losing early, but just being counted out by many, and even themselves a little bit from what I saw on social media. Just insane job all around to come together as a unit. I'm just itching for this interview.
And that's through all the damage output that we noted from Speedery, by the way, like being on that torch earlier on and putting in a lot of that pressure here too. And then Energy just following up, having that 1v1 duel that we got to see. There was so much to break down from this fight. And then these elongated fights before the re-engagement, usually domination, you have those first 3 initial fights because you could just portal right back in whenever you get really desperate. And even then, we saw them come out on top with the way that FlyQuest was navigating through those ultimates. Cooper, though, being that MVP here, putting down so much healing output. And it wasn't just this game, too. We had in the first game of domination alone, I think it was like, what, 53 or 63,000 healing?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he has had an incredible performance, and we've talked about it with these teams at this level. You have to have a multi-level offense across the board. You can't be single-faceted, and this team, whether it's Energy, the strategist play, incredible vanguards with both Sparkship and Vest doing just, honestly, some of the runs of the lower bracket. It's what's impressed me so far with FlyQuest. They've been here, they've been in the spotlight to this degree, but I don't think they've ever had a journey or a quest quite like this. It was side quests. I mean, it was straight up people were side quests. No, they're the main quest, and they're in the main match of the grand finals.
After seeing them 2 days ago, Cozy, within our own cast, because we finally got to cast FlyQuest. That was another thing, right? Like, you know, we had Shib and we had Dogman covering them. Now being able to see what they performed 2 days ago, I was like, oh no, wait a minute. There have been significant changes from FlyQuest, and they have been able to apply them accordingly too. So it's been nice to be able to follow that story from FlyQuest.
And it's one thing to have like moral victories. I think them beating Ego Death and getting that revenge was huge for them. And sometimes teams can get lost in that kind of mini Super Bowl, but like they just showed up completely here. And Envy, the talent is there. Everything was there. They're gonna have to go back and just look at that match and what happened between the coordinated play. But you know, Cal certainly stepped it up, and the Vanguard play was good too. But it just was not enough. It was destiny. It was destiny for FlyQuest.
It was little things, little nuances like ult economy, the way that they cycled through them. There was big staggering situations at the very beginning of that series too. Looking at Envy specifically, I'm wondering here, even with Window, right? We talked about Window a few times, getting called out, frozen a few times. But even with a lot of these staggers, I just feel like FlyQuest, you put it perfectly, played the best Marvel Rivals we've ever seen.
Yeah, absolutely. And luckily though, for Envy and Envy fans, you guys, this is the group stage. You got your seeding. Now you look towards the playoffs, and that's where it's going to matter for that mid-season finals. But seeding matters, and obviously money matters in talks, and that's what we're going to get for FlyQuest as we look towards what is going to be a game to remember them by. You know, you get you have ups and downs, and when you have your downs, it's quick to jump on it, right? It's quick to jump on the downfall of it. You see it in sports, and it's no different in esports here, and FlyQuest definitely proved the difference. Right now, I would say not a huge weak link, and they definitely worked on their flexibility of hero pool.
Yeah, and I want to know what those comms sounded like. Were they frantic? Were they calm and collected there? I mean, you're literally down to the wire in a final round situation. You were already up ahead 2-0 originally against Envy. It's best of 5. You had to clear out that one last map. You lose it right behind you, and then you make the comeback in another similar situation for map number 4.
Well, guys, listen, we've got the one, the only, the Hulk, the Thing, Spark Chief here for the interview, and I gotta say, I love that we get to talk to you, Spark Chief. Hey, listen, bro, congratulations, big man. I've seen you on social media. I know what this means to you. Before I open up with a question, just how you feeling?
I'm pretty happy, bro. I'm pretty happy. You know, when we lost to Ego Death that first time, I was like low-key staring at my roof at the sky, like the night and shit, and I was like just depressed as fuck. And then we just like gathered together, we like set the locked in and shit, and now we're here, bro. Nothing to say. Just enjoying Blizz, you know?
I love the celebration. I mean, talk me through, how do you go through the upper bracket loss, then, you know, you're looking eyes forward and you get that win, that kind of revenge win on Ego Death, and then that wasn't your mini Super Bowl. You go for the main thing, take it down, who's the Titans of Envy. Like, how do you guys just reset like that, even with the subbing of audios?
Well, I mean, like, to be honest, we were like, after we lost, we were like, wait, what if we just like ban BP and then we just win? And then we went into the scrims and we like decided like, all right, what direction do we want to go? Like, really, like, what are we actually going to do with like this new 6? And then we kind of found like a way that we wanted to play with him. And now we're like just locked in and like fully ready to go. Like, We just have everything we want to do and like written down. We know the swaps and everything. Like obviously in a match like this, where it's like against another like insane team that's like top 3 every time, obviously it's gonna be like difficult because court balls are just gonna be thrown around and stuff. But we managed to pull through. We beat the nerds and stuff because we're not like as experienced as them, but we're not veterans. We're not like ice cold, but it's all good. We made it here. Now we just get to like lock in for tomorrow.
Dude, I love this energy coming from you, Spark. I mean, you play also Hulk. We saw Thing, Venom. Like, you guys were making the craziest adjustments. We're looking at your player stats, too. Just one of them out here, and just the way that you were able to work together with the rest of your team was impressive. This is honestly my favorite series to watch. I need to ask you, how do those comms sound like in moments like this, where that third map, it was 1 game away from sitting in the grand finals. Now you have to go again for map number 4. How does that make you feel? How do you guys reset to stay calm and collected?
You just don't though. Like, you're just like, obviously everybody's like, I was pooping my pants. Like when they were double banning me, I pooped my pants. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was like, oh shit, what do I do? Oh, I'm sorry. But you know, like I was nervous, right? But like, we just don't. We just like ride the excitement to the win, you know? We just gotta ride it and just get the win or lose.
And that's hard to do when it's a bend not break mentality. Yeah, I mean, you guys were right there on Clintar and then the fight back. And, you know, when you get so close, sometimes it gets even more anxiety built up, right? Do you feel like you've already proved the doubters wrong and the people wrong? Or do you know who you were all along and you got to get the job done and get that trophy?
I mean, behind the scenes, like between pros and stuff, like there's always going to be like, it doesn't matter how many times you win, you're still like ass, right? But like at the end of the day, if you just keep winning, who cares, right? Like all we got to do is just win. So I don't really care if like people say we're butt or we're bad or anything, but I mean, we're just doing great. So I'm just enjoying. I'm just enjoying my win.
I love that. We got your team trade. We got your team trade. We're gonna get UPR trade more. But no, I love the honesty and just how you are. But I gotta say, man, hey, this is your revenge game too, kind of, right? You had the ego, you know, death revenge game. This is your Marvel Rival Invitational revenge game, right? I mean, this is the team that you nearly beat there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we finally beat them. I know we beat them in the Invitational the first time, but like they leveled up really highly and we couldn't beat them ever, and then we beat them. So, I mean, we're just happy with stoked, right? Like I said, like we really just want to lock in for tomorrow now. Like we gotta see what we gotta do, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Job's not finished, man. Job is not finished. And I'm for one, I love teams with the emotion behind them because you can tell how much it means, you know, to you. I mean, after that first loss, you guys, I mean, it just, I can see it. I can see it hurt, especially with the high expectations in an org like FlyQuest. You know, I want to give you the floor real quick and just what do you want to say to the viewers watching?
Nah, I mean, just keep watching. Like, tune in tomorrow. Make sure to see us play. We're gonna do some wacky stuff for sure. Like, I assure you, we're gonna do some wacky stuff. Like, you know us, you know? We're gonna whip out some stuff that no one's seen before, probably. And it's all good. Maybe we win, maybe we don't. We're gonna lock in and try our hardest, and if we win, we'll just enjoy it, and so will the viewers, so make sure to stay tuned.
I love that, Spark. I love the angle that you're talking to us. I love your energy. I like how genuine you feel, and I can't wait to watch you guys tomorrow. I mean, best of luck to you guys, and congratulations again for knocking out Envy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It means a lot.
Yeah. Go celebrate with the team, man. Tell Energy what's up. Big claps for him, man.